You may think that this is isolated to Japan, but it affects every single person in the globe, especially people in America and the West. I'm going to make it very simple to understand. Take all the complexity out of it. Pay attention. Japan's reverse carry trade is like a slow motion risk. So very simply, from about 1995, 96 to about 2022, Japan ran about 0% interest rates. I'm going to keep this very simple for you to understand and how this affects you and your pocketbook. I could go over to Japan. I could borrow at 0% interest. So I could go get $1 million and I can bring it over to America's markets and I can invest in crypto, stock markets, buy businesses at 0%. If I was to put it into an asset that grew 8% every single year, I borrowed $1 million at 0 and I'm making 8%, that's all free money until it's not. So for 30 years, listen to me, for 30 years, businesses, investments, a lot of the infrastructure you see was built on cheap money. Since 2022, boom, that cheap money has now got really expensive. And you're experiencing it right now in your pocketbook. Since 2022, well, let's say 2020 to 2026, you've lost 30% of your purchasing power of your dollar. We're now at war with Iran. The Straits of Hormuz is shut down. Open, shut down. Open, shut down. That one single choke point can cause inflation and energy crisis throughout the whole world. So now you got an energy crisis and inflation crisis around the whole world because of Straits of Hormuz. Now, if Japan makes one move, violently moves interest rates up, it will cause a ripple effect throughout the whole economy. Japan's already experiencing this. Over 45 companies have filed bankruptcy, up 30% in the first quarter. And we have a private credit market in America that is hanging on by a thread. So stop with the hype, stop with the hopium, be data specific. Make sure you understand this type of stuff. You're going to see companies, you're going to see investors, you're going to see people who were borrowed to the gills, who were over leveraged get wrecked. You're going to see a massive global reset back to homeostasis. This happens in nature over and over and over again. Those who get greedy always have to pay the piper. That's why you need ecosystems, not hype. You need discipline, you need structure, you need offense, you need defense. You need to know when to go risk on and risk off. You need cash flow. You need low personal debt. And any debt you use must have very low margin. Study Richest Man in Babylon, Wisdom of King Solomon. This is nothing new under the sun. This has happened in history over and over again. So write this down. The era of cheap money is dead. And when the tide goes out, you're going to see who has swim trunks on. Pay attention to Japan, the Straits of